Ever get that, like, little pit in your stomach when an invoice is overdue?
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
For sure.
Like, you're waiting for a package, but with, no tracking number, just constantly checking your account, wondering when the money will show up. Especially when you have your own suppliers breathing down your neck. That uncertainty can really throw a wrench in the works.
Absolutely. That's a huge pain point for businesses.
Speaking of pain points, we're diving into this article today by a B2B Payments UX consultant. They make a really interesting argument that the key to success for payment providers isn't just fancy tech, but something much more fundamental: transparency.
Interesting.
So get ready to discover how little honesty can go a long way in building trust and loyalty. It seems kind of obvious, but why is this lack of transparency such a big deal in the B2B world?
Well, picture this. You're a small business owner waiting on a payment, let's say $10,000 from a client in Europe.
Okay.
You've already factored that money into your budget, right?
Right.
But then, while the payment is in transit, the dollar weakens against the euro. Suddenly, you're only receiving the equivalent of $9,800. And that $200 difference, that comes straight out of your profit margin.
Ouch.
Yeah, not good. Especially with fluctuating exchange rates, this uncertainty can make planning a nightmare. And sometimes it even leads to these unexpected losses. But it's not just the practical stuff. There's a psychological element to this, too.
Oh, for sure.
Not knowing when or how much money is coming in creates anxiety. And it really hinders a business's ability to operate effectively.
It's like finally getting a grip on your personal finances and then bam, an unexpected car repair throws everything off.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. In both our personal and business lives, we crave predictability. And in the B2B world, transparent payment systems offer that much-needed stability. This article highlights 3 key features that can make all the difference.
The first one that really stood out to me was real-time currency conversion rates.
Yeah.
Seems like a no-brainer, but so many providers still don't offer this.
It's true. And it's a game changer for businesses, especially those dealing with international transactions. Knowing the exact exchange rate at the time of the transaction eliminates any nasty surprises, and it empowers businesses to make informed decisions. Imagine being able to lock in a favorable exchange rate for a large transaction. That kind of certainty can be invaluable.
Yeah, that makes total sense. What's next on the transparency hit list?
Payment tracking.
Oh, interesting.
We're all used to tracking our online orders and food deliveries, right? So why not have that same level of visibility for business payments?
Makes you wonder.
The article argues that detailed tracking throughout the entire payment process, it's critical, not just for peace of mind, but for making smart business decisions as well.
So it's not just about knowing where the payment is, but also getting insights into potential delays and any associated fees. I think what's fascinating is how this impacts businesses of all sizes.
Right, it's not just for the big guys. A small business owner, they can see exactly when funds are expected. This allows them to confidently make payments to their own suppliers and manage their cash flow more effectively. And then on a larger scale, CFOs can use detailed payment data to coordinate with vendors, optimize working capital, and create more accurate cash flow projections.
It's like giving businesses of all sizes a much clearer picture of their financial landscape.
Exactly. Instead of constantly reacting to surprises, they can be proactive and strategic in their financial management.
This is starting to paint a picture of how transparency, it really shifts the dynamic from a purely transactional relationship to something more collaborative. Okay, so we've got real-time rates and payment tracking. What's the third feature that this article highlights?
Clear upfront fees.
Oh, that's a good one.
It seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many B2B payment providers still rely on hidden fees tucked away in the fine print.
It's like when you're about to book a flight and suddenly all these baggage fees and seat selection charges pop up. It feels so sneaky, leaves a bad taste.
It really does. And in the B2B world, those hidden fees can have a serious impact on a company's bottom line. The article argues that upfront fee disclosure not only reduces support inquiries, but it also demonstrates respect for the client. And that builds long-term loyalty.
So it's about being upfront and honest from the very beginning. But I can see some providers arguing that revealing all their fees would hurt their profits. What's the counter-argument to that?
Well, it's about playing the long game. When you're clear about your fees, you gain something much more valuable than a few extra dollars here and there. You gain trust. Clients are far more likely to stick around, recommend your services to others, and even entrust you with larger, more critical transactions. All because they feel like you're being straight with them.
It's really about shifting from a transactional mindset to a partnership approach, isn't it?
Precisely. Transparency is about building a sustainable business that thrives on honesty and long-term relationships, not just squeezing every last penny out of each transaction.
Okay, so we've seen how transparency benefits businesses using these B2B payment services. But what about the providers themselves? How do they benefit from being more upfront? So we've talked about how transparent practices build trust with clients.
Yeah, it's really the foundation.
But it goes beyond just those, warm, fuzzy feelings. Let's get down to brass tacks. How does transparency actually translate into tangible benefits for B2B payment providers?
Well, for starters, let's think about customer acquisition costs. Attracting new clients can be a major expense for any business. But when you're known for your transparency, it becomes a real differentiator in the market.
It's like built-in marketing almost. Businesses are naturally drawn to companies they feel like they can trust.
Exactly. When you're upfront about your fees and processes, you eliminate that suspicion that can make businesses hesitant to try something new. Think of it like choosing between two restaurants, one with a clearly displayed menu and one with all these hidden charges.
Ooh, yeah.
Most people would go for the transparency and predictability.
For sure, no one likes surprises when it comes to the bill. And it seems like this trust also plays a big role in customer retention.
Absolutely. Increased customer loyalty is a direct result of transparency. When clients feel valued and respected, they're much more likely to stick around. And they might even recommend your services to others.
So we're talking lower customer acquisition costs, A&D, higher customer retentions. Sounds like a recipe for success.
It really is. And that increased customer loyalty leads to something even more valuable, higher customer lifetime value.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
So clients who trust you, they're more likely to use your services more frequently, and they're also more likely to entrust you with larger, more complex transactions over time.
So it's not just about attracting new clients, it's about cultivating these lasting relationships that are mutually beneficial. It's like shifting the entire dynamic of the B2B payment landscape.
You hit the nail on the head. It transforms a purely transactional interaction into a genuine partnership, where both parties feel confident and secure.
This all sounds fantastic in theory, but let's get practical for a moment. How can B2B payment providers actually implement these transparency-boosting features?
Well, this article really emphasizes the importance of partnering with a B2B payment UX professional.
A UX professional,
Yeah.
someone who specializes in user experience, right? Why is their expertise so crucial in this context?
Because designing a truly transparent and user-friendly payment experience, it's not just about tacking on a few features. It requires a deep understanding of how businesses operate, what their pain points are, and how to create a seamless, intuitive experience that instills confidence from the very first interaction.
So it's not just about making the information available, it's about making it accessible and digestible for the end user.
Exactly. It's about presenting potentially complex information in a way that's clear, concise, and visually appealing. Think about the difference between a cluttered website with hidden navigation versus a website that guides you effortlessly through the process.
Oh yeah, I know which one I prefer.
Right. It's all about eliminating that feeling of being lost or confused, especially when we're talking about something as important as finances.
For sure. No one wants to feel like they're stumbling around in the dark with their money.
Exactly. A good UX professional can help B2B payment providers design systems that are not only functional, but also enjoyable to use. They can anticipate user needs, proactively address potential pain points, and ensure that every step of the payment process feels intuitive and transparent.
So it's almost like turning a potentially stressful experience into something that's smooth and even enjoyable.
That's the goal. When you prioritize both transparency and user experience, you create a service that businesses not only need, but actually want to use. And that's a powerful combination.
Absolutely. A win-win for everyone. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We explored the importance of transparency in B2B payments, how it benefits both businesses and providers, and the key UX features that can make it a reality.
Yeah, we've talked about real-time currency conversion rates, detailed payment tracking, and clear upfront fees, creating a win-win for everyone involved.
And we discussed the essential role of UX professionals in designing truly transparent payment experiences that prioritize the needs of businesses.
It's a team effort, for sure. But what's most important to remember is that transparency isn't just a set of features. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach B2B payments. It's about building trust, reducing anxiety, and empowering businesses to thrive.
It's a whole new way of thinking. This has really been an eye-opening conversation, and I think it's safe to say that we're both convinced honesty is indeed the best policy in the world of B2B payments.
Absolutely. It's the only way to do business. But this whole discussion has got me thinking about the bigger picture.
Oh, I love when that happens. Where's your mind wandering to?
Well, we've been talking about B2B payments, right?
Right.
But this whole idea of transparency, it's not just a business thing, is it?
It's true.
It's a human thing.
Yeah, we crave transparency in our personal relationships, in our governments, even in the brands we choose to support.
Exactly. Think about it. Any relationship, business and its clients, a company and its employees, even just two friends. Transparency is at the core of it all.
It's the foundation of trust.
Yeah, it's about being upfront, communicating clearly, not hiding things. It lets us connect on a deeper level.
Build that foundation of respect.
It's also about vulnerability.
Oh, interesting.
It's about showing your cards, so to speak. Admitting you're not perfect. And trusting that the other person will meet you where you are. That vulnerability can be incredibly powerful.
I love that. Transparency is a form of strength.
It's not about being perfect. It's about being real.
Authentic.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just feeling good. It has real, tangible benefits.
Oh, how so?
Well, when there's transparency, there's less room for misunderstanding, less conflict.
Makes sense.
It opens up communication, better collaboration, stronger relationships.
This has been such an insightful conversation. It's really made me think about how I approach transparency in my own life.
That's great to hear. And that brings me to a question I want to leave our listeners with today. Think about all the interactions you have, personal and professional. Ask yourself, are the people you're interacting with, are they being truly transparent with you?
Are they treating you like a partner? Someone worthy of honesty and respect? Or are they keeping you in the dark, prioritizing their own interests above yours?
Those are some powerful questions. And the answers can be pretty revealing. They can help you figure out which relationships are truly valuable, the ones built on trust and respect. And maybe even those that need a little more open communication.
Recognizing your own worth, surrounding yourself with people who value that honesty and openness.
So to all our listeners out there, take a moment. Reflect on the role of transparency in your own life. Seek out those relationships, both personal and professional, that are founded on honesty, clarity, and mutual respect.
It's a great reminder. Transparency isn't just a business strategy, it's a way of life.
Absolutely. And it's something we can all strive for in every aspect of our lives.
This deep dive has really been a journey, from those practical applications of transparency in B2B payments, to its impact on our relationships, even our sense of self.
We've seen how a little honesty, it can really go a long way.
Building trust, creating win-win situations, and making our businesses and our lives more fulfilling.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of transparency. We hope this deep dive has sparked some new ideas and inspired you to seek out more open and honest interactions in your own life. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge. And remember, transparency is key.